Could you please join me in welcoming Lord Mayor Campbell Newman.
Thanks very much, Steve. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute delight and pleasure to be back here again with the Property Council. And I just want to say that we really appreciate the great relationship we have with the PCA these days. I'm quite happy to say that we've, I think, got a regular program of meetings, breakfast meetings. We do that at least quarterly with the President, past President, members of the board and Steve. And I think that's been very productive, and there's a great dialogue going there, and we're trying to be responsive to the things that the industry is putting on the table. Well, let's start right at the top level, at the high level. Where is Brisbane going and how are we positioning the city? Well, over the last 12 months, I think that Brisbane Marketing, the team there, in partnership with my economic development people and people like Councillor Jane Prentice, we've actually finally come up with something for the first time that in the time that I've been the mayor. I think it really sells Brisbane. And what we're saying out there now, interstate and overseas, is we are saying that Brisbane is Australia's new world city. Australia's new world city. And what we're putting around that is, I think, an incredibly powerful brand that I think really sells where Brisbane's going today. The aspirations of this town, the way we think about ourselves, and particularly it's a bold statement about the future. The way that I say it to people, and I've just been to Korea and Taiwan, the way that I say it to overseas people is I say it like this. You've heard of Sydney and Melbourne. The last 50 years have particularly been their years, but I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, the next 50 years belong to Brisbane. The growth, of course, continues, and you all know the figures, but just again, to get us all on the same page this morning, currently a population of 2.8 million, 4.4 million projected by 2031, and those are increased sort of projections from the original regional plan that came out back in 2005, 2006. And so the job of the state government and every local government is to get real and to get on and deliver the dwellings and their supporting infrastructure to cater for that growth. And as you know, Brisbane has been given a target of 156,000 new dwellings in our existing urban area in terms of what we have to deliver by 2031, and 138,000 of those are infill. Now, I note that the Property Council at the moment is about to release, I'm not sure where you are, in terms of a study on the whole credibility of the figures across the region. I'll say this right now, it's our job though to take the guidance we've been given and, if you like, in a professional and dogged and determined way to get on and work to those numbers. If the numbers change, if the mix has to change, well, we'll do that. But at the moment, we're working on the guidance we have from the state. There are also other things that have been going on. You may or may not have heard about the Aged Care Retirement Task Force report that was done over the first 18 months of this administration. We had a group from the private sector, along with council officials, under the guidance of Councillor Adams, do this work to look at how we can provide better outcomes for nursing homes and retirement living across Brisbane. We're just about to go out to tender for contracts to deliver a range of new CityCat terminals, at least 2 and up to 5, and that's happening before the end of the term. On the road front, we are out there on our road action program across the suburbs of Brisbane. I don't have a list here, I won't bore you with that, but right across Brisbane we're undertaking road upgrades, intersection upgrades. We're really getting into the meaty part of that program right now. It's roughly $1 billion over the 4-year term. The Clem 7 tunnel, well, it'll be open sometime between Australia Day and Easter next year. The Hale Street Link, the go-between bridge, will be opened by end of July next year. We'll also see the state government delivering Airport Link by 2012.
And you touched on some of these, but I think it'd be worthwhile exploring from your point of view some of the challenges in delivering those targets. I mean, from you as a Lord Mayor of Australia's largest capital city, to be given those targets and then actually have to sit down and deliver those, over the next little while, to detail some of those challenges that you face.
Well, there's an awful lot, obviously, in this study that you're referring to, and I guess I'm confident that we can find the locations for the 138,000. So if you like, we can create that redevelopment opportunity, and we can do it with the community, and we can do it in the main with community support. And that's really the biggest challenge as I see it from our perspective. You're referring then to a challenge which is, it's almost, is there a market for it, is really what you're saying. That's what I'm hearing is, you're saying that that the plan is predicated on people buying more units than they have in the past, perhaps. That might well be a very valid point, but we will get on and we will deliver the plans so that those dwellings can be created. And they're not, of course, just in multi-storey buildings. They might be in some areas, and like I was alluding to Sherwood before, there might be 5-storey buildings really. Nothing really dramatic about that.
Balderstone, we've been in business here in Queensland, Brisbane, for over 80 years. We've actually built the oldest bridge across Brisbane, being the William Jolly, and just opened in the last week the newest bridge to cross Brisbane River, being the Coorpa Bridge. As part of Brisbane, we see ourselves in a role that helps build the city, adds to the social fabric, and contributes to how the city operates. In these times that we are in, it's actually quite interesting to see how we've performed over the last 80 years, knowing that there have been cycles and that there have been challenging times that we've always come out of. It's a real interesting time because it defines individuals' leadership, organisations' leadership, governments, as well as society, and where we're actually going.